just the tip of the tool, not the wing. That noise is overhang. I'm being very lazy there, not moving the tool. So I'll take a smaller cut and come a little bit more on the tip. That should have got us to where we want to be. Stop that. There we go. Right into the rim. That Burl's amazing. Right, okay, so I'm going to move it around and show you the finishing cuts now. Okay, so set up. You can see, if we look closely in here, you can see the tear out from when I was just roughing the piece out. So, I'm going to drop the tool handle, use the tip of the wing, and just do a real sheer cut across there, and we'll see if it improves it. Okay, the grain's run in all kinds of directions. That will be a draw cut. I can use the same cut on the outside. In my mind, irrespective of people you see or whatever, demonstrators or what they say, at the end of the day, it's the result, the best result you can get from the tools you're using, and it doesn't matter up to a point how you're using them. The push cut is a great cut, the bevel supports the cut and everything else. The draw cut can work just as well. If you find one better than the other, use it. There's no kudos in being, what the kudos is in a nice shape and form, nicely sanded, finished, beautiful piece of wood. That's, you know, how you get there up to a point now really doesn't matter. So, switch this on. Get the speed a little faster, it's far more balanced now. Oh, excellent. We've got up to, no, not quite, there we go, 900. Drop the angle, I can go that way or that way, whichever of you feel the most comfortable. The tool was sharpened up. Come out this way. You can take that, see I'm taking a very, very small shaving. Let's stop that, see if there's a difference. Absolutely, all that tear out, or most of it is gone. One of the other things you can consider doing is soaking the surface with a thin down shellac. Maybe not as a finish, but as a sealer or to support the fibres, 50-50, slightly thinner. It penetrates into the fibres, let it dry, give it another coat. The fibres will stick up slightly, they'll stiffen up, and they'll make it easier to cut them. If the wood's too soft and punky, the fibres bend before you cut through them or break, and it's very difficult. Use shellac over the whole surface, and that will certainly help. So, using the wing of the tool. Exactly the same cut as I've done there. I'm just going to do it over this surface, across here, and then I want to show you another tool, a shear scraper. The curve of the tool, the natural curve of the tip got into that nice little return cut. Again, just nice fluid movement over there. Let's stop it. So I went to about here. There you go, again, a nice clean cut surface. It's a true cut. There's no burnishing from the bevel. Again, if you find the push cut easier to do it. I just find in this position, I find it easier drawing it towards me. The Japanese got it right there. Their saw's cut on the pull stroke. Their plane's cut. So it's easier to draw something towards you. And the other advantage is, with a sharp tool and the right positioning of the tool, you can get as good a cut as, or good a finished cut as anything else, even on a burl. And I have the advantage of being able to look at the profile as I'm making the cut. That's the advantage to me more than anything else. Both cuts work equally as well, just depending on whatever or however you want to use the tools. So, we're going to change this over. shear scraper. It's a teardrop shape. I sharpen it at an angle of about 40 degrees there, okay? Some people sharpen it at an angle, some people leave it square. I prefer it at a slight angle. That slips into there. It's perfect for doing the outsides of bowls. Okay, it's not a new design. It's been out for many, many years, but I find it very versatile, both for the inside and the outside of a bowl. It's got numerous different curves on there to get into numerous different curves on your pieces. Hand over the top. Again, I'm holding the tool there, and the handle, rest of the handle is in my hip here. An angle of about 45 degrees, I can get into there, bring it around, and we should get a very, very fine shaving. It's actually the burr that's doing the work, not the solid edge, it's the burr. When I sharpen this, I sharpen it upside down, so I drag a burr off, and I also will hone it as well. You can hone it if you use a 180 hone, that will produce a bit of a burr or an edge to give you that nice cut. So I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to switch it on, we're going to colour that section in. And let's use the shear scraper and see what kind of result we get on that. So I'm going to close it down a little bit more to get into that little curve there. And as I get into here, open it up. I don't want the whole curve to catch, so if we just work in here, you can see those light fine shavings coming off. Stop there where the other piece was. There's the shavings. Let's stop this and have a look. And again, a little bit of a pencil mark there. There's absolutely no tear out whatsoever. It's the burrs are on an angle, the tool's on an angle. It's a really nice way of getting a finish. Yeah, you can use your skews, you can use negative rate scrapers. I just think with the angle that's sharpened at, and the angle it's used on the piece of wood, and the fact that it's the burrs, the edges of the burrs that are cutting the wood, it's an old-fashioned technique. It's been around for years. It's not new. However, it works. You know, there's loads of tools out there now. The old basic tools. People are trying to reinvent the wheel. Let me switch that on again. Get another cut here. Then I'm going to follow it round. I need to do a couple more cuts here with the gouge. There's a slight hollow there. Then I'm going to finish it off with a shear scraper. Works perfectly well. And the burrs, the grains running in all kinds of directions. That's got into there nicely. That nice flat edge there. Bring it around to here. Stop that. There you go, beautiful. Even around that knot, there's absolutely no tear out whatsoever. That's going to make that very, very easy to sand. So, move the tool rest back round to here. Okay guys, I'm up to there. It's just below halfway. That's all finished. I've got this section to do. I'm going to make a few cuts, finish it off with the shear scraper, teardrop shaped shear scraper. You can find the details of that on my website. And then I'm going to spray it with water. I want to show you what the grain's like. Okay, so give me a few minutes. Looking at the profile, got to change the angle slightly, went just a touch too much onto the tip. Right, up to this corner. The rim's going to be curved. I'm just feeling that. I can feel if there's anything wrong with my fingers, sometimes better than I can see with my eyes. Last bit. Although the rim is going to be curved slightly. I don't like flat rims, but I just like that curve to flow through nicely. Excellent. Pick up the shear scraper. That's still working quite nicely. Just adjust the tool rest to get the last bit. You can see the difference on the surface. The other advantage of this tool is I can just move it a fraction and get a new set of burrs. And back, just left a little line there. There we go. Let's switch that off, have a look. A little bit of tear out there, I need to just go over that. The rest of it, or that section, yeah, it's in that section there. The rest of it is absolutely fine. So it's just in this section. A little bit of a squeal, that's too far away. Move it closer. Yeah, I can just hear a slight tick in the cut. There we go. There we go, that's more continuous. The sound is more continuous. Blend that in. These are so easy to blend in. Very difficult to leave a step with these tools because it's such a small cut. That's that section there. There we go. On that, it's there. Curves right until that section there. It's in here. Move the tool a little closer. Just working towards the back of that cutter now. I haven't used that part. Still got some real nice sharp burrs on it. That got it. Let's just have a look. Yeah, no tear out whatsoever. That's going to sand up very, very easily. So, did have some water. Where did I have? Pass my water, please, love. There you go. Let's spray this surface with water. Now then, water is going to take it down one tone. So this is what the piece would look like, or will look like, when it has a clear finish on it. Okay. Wow, it's going to be really, really pretty. Again, that's not going to break through because of the design of my rim. It's going to be thicker at the top and the bowl will be thinner at the bottom. That's not going to break out on the inside. I'm going to have a beautiful solid burr on the inside. So again, this is just water. The depth, when that is finished, the depth of that is going to look absolutely amazing. Now the other thing this is going to do is going to raise the grain, and then, so I'm going to leave it for a while to dry. It's not going to take long today at 109 degrees, outside that is. So it won't take long. It'll raise the grain. I'm then going to give it a good coat of shellac, thin down shellac, Zinsser shellac, thin down about 70-30, dab it into the surface of the wood. That's going to stiffen up the fibres, and it's going to seal all the darker areas here, end grain, where the grain's sticking up, the lighter areas, the grain's more flat. I want to seal them because the final finish I want to put on is an oil. I like a simple oil finish. It's going to really pop the grain in the wood, give it that depth. This is going to be a fruit bowl or some kind of bowl, a utilitarian bowl, so I want it to be able to be used. And that grain is absolutely gorgeous. I'd forgotten, do you know what, I was tidying out one day and I actually came across it. I forgot I had it. I've had it that long. Absolutely gorgeous. So we'll come back to that when it's dry. Put the finish on, put the seal on, then sand it, then put the final oil finish on top of that. Really nice, easy finish. Just a beautiful, simple curve. You couldn't do anything more than that. I don't think this would look as good if it had all those spikes on the other side. They would detract away from all this. It would just look too busy. So there you go, guys. See you in a short while. Okay, so we've shear scraped it. I've gone through all the grits, sanded it up. I've gone through to 800 grit. took my time. This is worth the effort. It's a gorgeous piece. I'm going to use an oil finish. Before I use an oil finish, as I said earlier, all these darker areas, the grain's sticking up. If I was going to put an oil finish on there, the disadvantage is that it's going to soak in more into the dark areas and less into light areas. You're going to have to put a lot more coats of oil on. What I'm going to do is give it a coat of shellac first. What that does is it soaks into the end grain, fills up the pores as it were. Obviously it doesn't soak very far into the longer grains, and therefore when it's dry it gives it a more even surface to put the oil on. The oil won't penetrate as far, however you'll get a much more, you won't get those dark and light spots basically. So this is Zinsser's clear coat, transparent. It's thinned down around about 70% seal coat and 30% alcohol. It's thinned down slightly more because I want it to penetrate further into the wood. So don't be shy with this, but rub it in evenly. I'm going to get it right down into here. Although again, the middle is going to be reworked later on. We're going to hold it in the coal jaws probably. Yeah, I'll be able to hold it on the inside. It'll be designed in such a way that I can do that. And it actually works. The undercut of the rim, the wider an undercut of the rim, allows you to return or turn it around or hold it from the inside much more easily. So you can see I'm putting this on in a circular fashion, getting it right down into the pores of the wood, trying to rub it in so I've got a more an even surface and there's not overlaps as such. That's fine. And then what I'll do is I'll get some 4/0 steel wool, cut the oil back, sorry, the sealer back, and then we'll give it a coat of oil. A coat of oil will really give it that depth. I mean, the grain in that wood is just incredible, absolutely gorgeous. So again, you can see I'm being quite liberal with this, but rubbing it into the grain. There we go. And a little bit more. Be quite vigilant about this part, it does make a difference. There we go, that's thinned down, it'll dry fairly quickly. Make sure, just check you haven't missed any. Right, we're going to give that, I'm going to give it a good hour to dry. The longer you leave it, I mean I could finish it, cut it back with steel wool in a minute or two. The longer you leave it to dry, the more it cures and the better finish you get. Again, on something like this, it's really worth taking the time and effort. It's just worth it. It's just worth it. You've got a, if you're selling it, you've got a decent price bowl there. And again, bone dry, it isn't going to move one iota, not one iota. So I'm going to let that dry, cut it back with steel wool, give it a coat of oil, then turn it around, start to face it off, start to form the curve on the rim, soften this edge. I don't want the edge too sharp. I want it to feel ergonomic when somebody picks it up, and yeah, start to hollow it out. Can't wait to get into the middle of it. Absolutely beautiful. Okay then guys, so join me later and we'll crack on then. I've just finished, finishing off, just cutting this back lightly with the steel wool. Just very gently, not putting too much effort on, just cutting back the surface till it's all one satin sheen. Also, you may find if you attempt to just switch this on where to help to dry it, there may be some shellac in these little kind of open areas here, the burl as it were. When you switch it on, it'll travel up here and it'll have little lines, so check that and make sure you haven't got any of those. So that's fine. Okay, so that's been sealed. I'm just going to wipe it over with this, just inspect it, make sure there's no steel wool caught in any of these little open areas. Okay, so now Danish oil works fine. Most oils are very, very similar. They're made up of tung oil, mineral oils and various solvents. You may find a one that you prefer. Various individuals they prefer different oils. this works fine. Watco Danish oil, or the teak oil is good as well. Teak oil is a brand name, it doesn't come from the teak tree. Again, with this, put it on a circular fashion and you'll really see the grain start to pop. You'll get an even finish, so those darker areas finish just as well as the light areas. You don't get that light and dark change on the surface. It glides over, so you're using less oil. It doesn't take so long to dry. Again, look how far that's gone. And it's a thin coat of this oil. You don't need to lather it on, just a nice thin coat. And I'm going to go over it again with the same piece of paper. Make sure the surface is nice and even. Then I'll go. That is a fabulous piece of wood. Let's get onto the foot. Absolutely beautiful. Right, okay, again, patient still. We're going to let this dry. I can always give it another coat of oil at the very end when I'm returning the foot. Just rubbing off the excess on the surface. Again, this will give you a better finish, won't leave any streaks. And that's more or less done on the back, apart from when I do return it to finish off the foot. Maybe give it another few coats of oil, letting it soak in, and we're going to reshape and take away that ugly recess. It doesn't look finished, so there's a little neat design that I've got for doing that, and it works perfectly with the recess. So there you go. That's the outside of it done. Absolutely amazing piece of wood. Fabulous, absolutely fabulous. So I'll come back to it later. We'll come back to it when that's all dry. It'll be turned around. It'll be held with the jaws in the recess, and I'll be ready to face it off, start forming the rim, and then hollowing it out. Okay, so we'll see you in about an hour. I'll get some dinner.